is a lawyer by profession. Nomval. Nomval was at our rally in KwaZulu-Natal, in the Moses Mabhida, readily available to join the EFF. So those are the kind of people that you're dealing with who have always envied the EFF leadership and thought they can be the EFF. But there's literally no capacity at all.
So now people will say, but EFF is supporting MKP taking over the KZN government, which is, you explain it, is majority rule. But now, don't you feel that maybe it will be disrupting of what is going, because you said those guys don't have capacity to do anything. Don't you think, are you not supporting people like this, to say, are you not supporting anarchy and chaos?
No, we're going to help them. For the sake of the progress of the people of KZN, we're going to help MK in running KZN. So we cannot allow KZN to degenerate. And the good thing is, unlike MK, there is law in government. You don't just do things there. Things are done in a particular way. And therefore, that is going to help us to run KZN in a manner that is required by the Constitution and the laws of South Africa, because we're not going to govern with Freedom Front Plus and the DA. We are ideologically apart and extremely apart from each other, but their historical role in making us to be what we are, our suffering and pain, is because of those people. And therefore, to still bring them into power and still honor Chris Hani, what do you mean? Because the Freedom Front Plus celebrated the murder of Chris Hani and regarded those who killed Chris Hani as revolutionaries. So what are you saying to Chris? What are you saying to Solomon Mahlangu and all of this? I mean, the people who hanged Solomon, some of them are related to Tony Leon. Tony Leon is the owner, a co-owner of DA. Nothing happens at the DA without him. He's the one who fired Musimaimani. So those are the people you are saying, if we need a good governance, we must govern with the people who once collapsed the economy of South Africa, which they were running on behalf of 15% of the population. The ANC, with all its weaknesses, it has never collapsed to a point where we failed to pay our debts. So what capacity are we talking about? It's just self-hatred that Groenewald has saved so much since he went to correctional service. It's a pure lie. That thing was started by the commissioner. Those things of finitures and all of that, it was the commissioner who brought that stability and said, we cannot talk about correctional service when people are just sitting, eating. Let's train them so that they can live here with certain skills. And I was saying to the commissioner the other day, my problem is that you are training people who killed my father or my mother. You're making them lawyers, you're making them teachers, you're making them carpenters, and all of that. I cannot be a lawyer, I cannot be a carpenter, I cannot be anything, because my father died. He's the one who was paying for all of these things. So this guy gets rewarded for killing my father. What do you do with me? So there ought to be such programs even for the victims. We have no problem with them being trained and coming out with a skill. I know of many who came out with a skill and then they became very perfect. But what about the children of the victims of these people? So the commissioner has been doing very well there. How can you turn around that thing in less than a year? You know how slow government is. They get used to do things in a particular way. To change them, it becomes very difficult. He inherited a functional department which is run by a black brother. But they will never tell you that. They now took all of those achievements of a black brother and gave them to...
Tawakal was there.
Yeah, Tawakal has been there long before.
Yes.
They gave him they now take his achievements and give to the politician. And the typical him, the professional civil servant, is not in competition with politicians. It's like if the minister shines, the department shines. So I don't have to be competing and creating an impression that, no, you're lying. But those who know the truth like us, who must be able to tell that it's a lie. It's not true. It's a lie. So, even the KZN number 1 results we're talking about now is not an achievement of these people. It was systems that were established well long before this provincial government of unity came about.
So talking about the KZN now, let's look at the government of national unity, where you mentioned you lambasted the DA being the EFFA, Freedom Plus, and what's your take? Do you think it was a blessing for the EFF not to be part of the NGU?
It was. You know, revolutionaries are not rewarded with money and all kinds of material benefits, are rewarded by standing with their principles. That even when there was an opportunity for political expediency, you refused and stood your grounds and said, I'm not going to be part of this. I mean, you should be ashamed to have a Gayton Mackenzie as a minister with no, a little bit of morality to occupy the kind of office he has occupied. And you must go and sit in that kind of government. They've done us so bad that they're prepared to sleep with criminals, convicted criminals in government, and say, these are ministers. Ministers are a reflection of the kind of society we are. And that's Gayton. Gayton is the one who defines us. He defines us as to who we are. So you must never be desperate for power to a point where you are prepared to kiss frogs because you want power. So we refuse. And I think that's what led to some of these disagreements and people because you want power. So we refuse. And I think that's what led to some of these disagreements and people leaving the EFF to MK because they thought it was a shortcut to power. I don't believe in shortcuts. So I don't believe in quickie. I believe in longevity. You have to be long. This thing of quickie, and I want you to have a staying power. Yeah. So we decided, well, let's play an opposition role. And in municipalities where we're allowed to participate, let's put in our young ones to gather the necessary experience so that when that time comes, at least some amongst us have got an experience of how certain things are done.
So in